So Florian Wirtz is a Liverpool player, but let's work out exactly how this transfer happened. The best player that will move to any club in this transfer window is Florian Wirtz, but the story behind his decision to choose Liverpool is simply fascinating. It's a tale of prestige, a tale of allure, a tale of drama. Within this story, we learn a lot of things about Florian Wirtz. We learn a lot about what motivates Florian Wirtz. We learn a lot about Arne Slot, a lot about Liverpool, but crucially, we unearth a massive lie told by Manchester City. I'm convinced. I'll come on to it in a moment, but I am convinced that I have unearthed a genuine lie told by that club. But for now, we'll focus on the player at hand. Terribly sorry to interrupt this video, but will you please just do me one quick favour? Please, just one. Click subscribe. That's all. Really helps me out. If you would be kind enough to just click that subscriber button, I would be eternally grateful. Can you imagine being Florian Wirtz over the past couple of months? You have every single manager of every single club desperate for your services. The biggest clubs in the world queuing up to talk to you. The best managers in the world on their knees begging to secure your services. Behemoth and iconic clubs are sending their private jets for you. They're lavishing you with gifts. They're lavishing you with promises. You have the opportunity to give it the due diligence that it deserves. You have the opportunity to mull it over. You've structured your contract in such an intelligent way that you have nothing to panic about. So, out of courtesy, respect and intelligence, you choose to sit down with each manager and listen to what they have in store for you if you were to join their club. Firstly, you sit down with Vincent Kompany, who is a true icon of the game and a gentleman to boot. He has just secured the title at Bayern Munich. He then delivers his plan for what he sees in your future. He tells you how you'll link up with Harry Kane. He mentions the impact of shining for a club like Bayern Munich in a World Cup year. He flags the prestige of the institution that you'll represent. A German lad playing for Bayern Munich. Lothar Matthäus, Franz Beckenbauer, Gerd Müller, Stefan Effenberg, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Philipp Lahm and Michael Ballack. Even Uli Hoeneß gets involved. And had Bayern Munich got hold of Florian Wirtz, can you imagine the impact of that in Germany? Imagine the impact of the biggest club in Germany signing Florian Wirtz. What it would mean to the Bundesliga, what it would mean to Germany as a whole. It would be almost Machiavellian. They take the title from Bayer Leverkusen, they then raid Bayer Leverkusen to secure the services of their best player. The jewel in the crown of that Leverkusen team. A Leverkusen team that made history winning a double unbeaten. Suddenly, not only did Bayern Munich eclipse them in the league, but they sign their protege. But despite everything, Bayern Munich didn't get their man. And so Florian Wirtz sits down with Pep Guardiola. Now, Guardiola is different to Vincent Kompany. He doesn't need to sell anything. You don't need to sell the City project, demonstrate the allure of playing for Manchester City. It sells itself. And part of the reason that it sells itself is because of the man that you're having the conversation with if you are Florian Wirtz. Pep Guardiola, the icon, the king, the legend, is sitting down in front of you, displaying quite how desperate he is to work with you. And then if you're Florian Wirtz, you have the opportunity to work with arguably the best manager to have ever lived. You have the opportunity to be mentored by the man who mentored Lionel Messi. You can follow in the footsteps of Kevin De Bruyne. You can be at the epicenter of a new-look Manchester City team. But yet again, Florian Wirtz heard the Guardiola pitch and he decided something about it wasn't quite right. And this, in my opinion, this isn't fact, this isn't something that I know for sure, but this, in my opinion, is where a lie is born. I believe that Florian Wirtz said no, but Manchester City's PR machine kicked into overdrive and we were never told that Wirtz said no. The official story that was spun from the Manchester City department was that Florian Wirtz was too expensive. Too expensive for Manchester City. Now, in my opinion, and it is only my opinion, something doesn't ring true here. There is absolutely no way that Manchester City have swerved signing a player of Florian Wirtz's quality because the money is too severe. To Manchester City, 125 million euros is changed down the back of the sofa. And they even inflated the number to demonstrate quite how big it was. 250 million euros over 5 years, or however they positioned it. But Manchester City are a club with infinite finances. They're also a club who spent 100 million quid on Jack Grealish. They're a club who didn't balk at giving Erling Haaland the most ridiculous pay packet I've ever heard of. Quite frankly, the least controversial thing that you will ever hear said on this channel is about to be said. Manchester City are quite a splashy club. They make it rain. They live the vida loca. And yet we've been told to believe that they see Wirtz as too expensive. Like I say, this is just my opinion, but I don't believe it to be true. My opinion is that Pep Guardiola had a conversation with Florian Wirtz, and Florian Wirtz heard something that he didn't like. He saw something in the City project that he didn't like. There was a suggestion in Bild in Germany that when he spoke to Pep Guardiola about how long Guardiola was going to be at the club, Guardiola wasn't exactly emphatic about being at the club beyond 2027. Now, maybe that played an impact in Wirtz's decision-making process. But you're going to have to make your own minds up on it. Like I say, my opinion is that what we've been told is a lie. Manchester City didn't back out of signing Wirtz. They didn't deem him too expensive. They simply were told no, and they PR'd the situation beyond recognition. In fact, could you do me a favour? If you believe I'm right, if you believe that Florian Wirtz turned down Manchester City, can you give this video a like? I just want to try and monitor how many people actually believe that Manchester City thought he was too dear, and how many people actually believe that Wirtz turned them down. Thank you. Anyway, when you think about the two conversations that Wirtz has had up until this point, you can totally understand why he chose Liverpool. Arne Slot's pitch to Florian Wirtz is so easy. He's pitching one of the biggest clubs in the world, one of the best clubs in the world, one of the most iconic clubs in the world, and he's pitching them as champions. He's pitching them as champions who have just tied down their two legendary players and a club who can offer Wirtz the number 10 shirt. More importantly, and most crucially, he's pitching them as a club who are at the genesis of this new sporting project. The Arne Slot era of Liverpool is a desirable project to be part of. And being the spearhead of that attack in midfield, linking up with Gravenberch, combining with Mohamed Salah, linking up with Luis Diaz, and playing in front of the Kop, it's such an easy sell for Slot. Now, this conversation about the number 10 top, I know that it's been dismissed as not being particularly important, but I believe it is, not necessarily for the number. I don't think that Florian Wirtz is a weird guy. I don't think that he needs the number. I don't think he's petty enough to demand the number from another player. But I do think the position on the pitch is something that would be important to him. Because of his brilliance, he's capable of playing anywhere across the front line. But he wants to play as a number 10. And when Bayern Munich have a player like Jamal Musiala, it's quite hard to envisage exactly how that would work. And you could see a world at Bayern where Wirtz would be pushed out wide to accommodate other players. Kane drops deep, Musiala's there, etc, etc, etc. However, at Liverpool, it's totally different. There is no doubt that Florian Wirtz plays in that number 10 role. Up until this point, Dom Szoboszlai has been the spearhead of the Liverpool attack from midfield. That position is a position that they can elevate upon. It's fair to say that whilst Dom Szoboszlai is a good player, he's not a great player. They are bringing in a great player. Dominic Szoboszlai only scored 7 goals from that position last year. Frankly, it's not enough. Wirtz scored 25. So you can totally see why he chose Liverpool. I understand the allure of Bayern Munich. I certainly understand the allure of Bayern Munich for a young German footballer. But it's different. The Premier League, Liverpool, Slot, Salah. It makes total sense. Plus, you can understand why he turned down Man City. We learned something very interesting. I mentioned it on another video on this channel about Florian Wirtz, about the €150 a month that he accepted when he signed for Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, he was on a lot more than that, but that's what he was given by his family, who still look after him, in order for him to live on. So he understands the real world. He's not motivated by money. He's not motivated by material things. If he joined City, he would be richer than he could ever be in terms of finances, but maybe not culturally. At Liverpool, he can scratch both itches. So if it's not about money, it's about opportunity, it's about prestige, it's about the team that you're joining, it's about the players that are at that team, it's about the ability of the manager, it's about the history. If you factor it all in, and the conversation is Man City, Bayern Munich and Liverpool, as things stand today, I really do believe that there is only one winner. Then you combine everything that we've just said with the fact that Jeremy Frimpong has already signed for Liverpool. And suddenly, 2 and 2 really does make a Christmas cake. Frimpong and Wirtz are best mates. They used to drive one another to training. They used to sit next to each other in the dressing room at Bayer Leverkusen. So he gets to do it all. And he's got his mate for support. It will help him assimilate into the Premier League. And crucially, for a man as ambitious as Florian Wirtz, what does Liverpool offer him? It offers him the opportunity to test himself at the very top, playing in the hardest, most brilliant, most robust and most watched league in the world. Imagine being Wirtz. Imagine being Wirtz's age and having the opportunity to link up with Mohamed Salah. And I don't think we can ever overestimate quite how important and how alluring it is to play in front of the Kop. Stadiums and fans, they matter so much. The history of the stadium, the history of the fans, it really does matter. And last November, Florian Wirtz played in the Champions League at Anfield. Now we know how magical Champions League nights can be at Anfield. I painfully know all too well quite how loud Anfield can be when things go their way in Europe. Any Chelsea fan that was there like I was the night of that Luis Garcia goal will tell you that it can be a haunting experience if you're an away fan, or in Wirtz's case, an away player. But imagine from his perspective having that on your side. Imagine him being serenaded by the cop. There's no way that that Liverpool end doesn't have a fantastic song for Wirtz ready to go. And the entire end will be bouncing in the way that it did once for Luis Suarez, or previously that Fernando Torres song. God, that used to go, didn't it? Haunting. You never walk alone. He said, Torres. We bought the lad from Saudi Spain, giving us a Fernando Torres, he's Liverpool's number 9. Oh, God. It's going to happen for Wirtz. And Wirtz, I imagine, will love the idea of building up a rapport with that support. And then just think about what he'll bring to that Liverpool team. He knows what his skill set is. He knows what his main attributes are. He knows what he is capable of. And he's very intelligent. He would have appraised everything that I just said there and weigh up where his services can be brought to a head most securely. Where can he contribute the most? Where can his talent be unleashed to its most devastating effect? What manager has the ability to coax a performance out of him to a level that we haven't yet seen? Just mention that he played against Liverpool at Anfield, and I said how impressed he would have been with the stadium, the surroundings, the training ground, whatever else. But his team got beat 4-0. That was the Leverkusen team that were very used to winning, by the way. They got beat 4-0. So he would have been looking around thinking, my God, this is a good side. And we've later found out that he was thinking, wouldn't mind being a part of this. So then there's only two things left to talk about. Firstly, we need to discuss the money. I think everyone's gone nuts. I think everyone has gone nuts and totally missing the point about this level of spend. Firstly, we knew this was going to happen. Liverpool didn't spend any money last year, practically nothing, and yet they won the league. So this year, they've gone guns blazing. It makes total sense. They've then gone and signed one of the best, most prodigious, most exciting, most potentially brilliant young players in the world. When you are that good, and you are that young, and you have been that brilliant for 5 years, and you are only 22, when you became the youngest goal scorer in the Bundesliga 5 years ago, and you are still only 22, it's fair to assume that you are going to cost a pretty penny. Obviously, it's going to cost a lot of pie and mash to prize you out of the clutches of Bayer Leverkusen for 2 reasons. And now, use your brain. Please switch on. I don't understand why people need to be convinced about this. When you sign a brilliant footballer, that brilliant footballer costs a lot of money. Equally, when you sign a really young player with bags of potential, that potential costs a lot of money. What you are buying in the package that Florian Wirtz exhibits is both. You are paying for the proven international, the proven Germany international, who's already won leagues and has already proved himself against the very best. So that costs money. Equally, you are buying a 22-year-old. 22-year-olds cost a fortune. Unproven 22-year-olds cost a fortune. So when you combine both of the attributes that we're discussing here, naturally, it's going to take a lot of pie and mash to prize him away. So come on, with the money makes sense. They're buying a player who's young, but they're also buying a player who they are going to have at their disposal for the best years of his career. Most players peak at what? 28? He will be a Liverpool player at 28. And just think about what he will bring to this Liverpool team. So good on the ball, so crafty, so clever. But that isn't even the point that we need to discuss. There seems to be this fallacy that's being passed around that maybe he's lightweight, maybe he's not quite cut out for the Premier League, maybe he's going to find the Premier League's physicality a problem, maybe this league is going to be too robust for him. Let me tell you this, that is not the case. I've seen him play a lot, and I know that he's going to love it. Some players can look small, some players, continental players, don't necessarily look like they're going to be up for the physicality of the league. Cesc Fabregas is a great example of this, and yet he was game. He will fight anyone. He was up for a 50-50. He didn't care if it was Stoke away on a Wednesday night. Fabregas was a geezer who would fight to the end. And Florian Wirtz is cut from similar cloth. He also presses from the front. He will be so gifting to that team. He will make the entire team better. He will make Virgil van Dijk's job so much easier because Florian Wirtz is an attacker. The first thing on his mind is to score goals, but he is a defender first. In as much as he is the first line of a defence, he presses and wins the ball in the final third as much as anyone that you've ever seen. His willingness to press, his willingness to run, his willingness to fight, his willingness to give to the team is going to make this Liverpool team exceptional. So Liverpool got it over the line. They made sure that they used every trick in the book to secure the services of the player that they decided that they so desperately need. Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. This is going to be one of those transfers that echoes in eternity. I know this is going to work. Liverpool are going to be the team to beat next year. He's going to elevate the expectations of that team and he's going to elevate the ability of that first team. And on some level, that midfield, despite being brilliant last year, is going to look totally reimagined. It's a scary prospect, and under Arne Slot, a genius, I believe that Liverpool have what it takes to go even one step further than they did last year. As always, really interested to hear your thoughts on this. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Make sure that you click subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next video. I'll be in the comments as well, by the way. Get typing. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Nice one.